And now, without further ado, Raycast AI. By now, we've probably all had an experience with a large language model like ChatGPT. And with Raycast AI, it combines a lot of those different models into a single app, as well as their own language model. Let me open up a chat, and I'll ask a question. What's the capital of Australia? And we get an instant answer. But we're not just limited to asking questions using text. I can add a file or a photo. Here, I'll select a photo of myself at the football. Then I'll ask a question about this photo. I want to know what team this person supports. It looks at the photo, determines what kind of merchandise is being worn, and then makes an assumption that this person, me, probably supports the Richmond Football Club. And it's correct. I can ask a follow-up question, what is the Richmond Football Club? And I'll get some more information. So this can be super handy if you have a photo of something, want to find out about it, and then ask more questions. If I scroll back, I can revisit parts of this chat. Beneath each response, there's a few icons. The first, the clipboard, simply copies that response. Then you can use either arrow to give feedback on the response. You can select from a list of feedback types. So for instance, you can say that this was an accurate response. Perhaps more importantly than reinforcing correct responses, you may want to give feedback about an incorrect response or an inappropriate response. There's a longer list of feedback types here, but all of this information is helpful because it lets Raycast know how their model is performing. If you click on the ellipsis, you can actually turn this response into a new note. When I select this, we get a notification at the top confirming that the new note is created. And if I click on that notification, it takes me straight to that note, so I could begin working on it there. Head back and scroll down to the most recent response. This has an icon not found on the others, an arrow looping. Clicking this lets me regenerate the response using a different model. Right now, we're set to the Raycast AI, but there are others too, such as ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and if I scroll across, you can find more. I'll use ChatGPT, and I'll choose a submodel here as well, the most recent one. Using this model has created a considerably more extensive answer to our question. It's including things like the nickname, when it was founded, location, and even information about their recent success. There's a lot more context in this answer. Now, this was regenerating an answer using a different model, but you can change the default model for this chat. In the top left corner, where it says Ray 1, click on this to see the settings for the chat. Then you can change the model using the first dropdown. I'll select the same one as before, and I can also set system instructions. Let me write one out first, then I'll explain how it works. So I'm telling chat that you're an expert in Australian rules football, you speak like an Australian, without swearing. I know what my people are like. This creates parameters on how I want the chat to interact with me. I'll hit save, and before I show off these special instructions, I just want to note that web search and image generation are turned on for this chat. This means that in its responses, it will search the web and create images based on your requests. Okay, so my next request is to tell me about the AFL. It's generated a response, and I can already tell from the first line that it's different from the others. It's saying absolutely, mate. Now, of course, Australians say mate to each other quite a lot, so it's already acting like an Australian. It goes on to give me more information, and as I scroll down, I can see other parts of the text that sound like how Australians talk. We do use the word huge like that, a huge part of Aussie culture. We also use expressions like shout out. Feel free to get creative with this special instructions feature. I've seen other people use it to create a language tutor that speaks in a certain language and helps them in certain ways. Before we wrap up this note, I just want to show you that you can actually use voice to create a response. Just click on this waveform icon and then begin speaking. You can also create a new chat by hitting the plus icon in the top right corner. You can see the background, which is green, and has the ChatGPT icon. This is letting us know visually what language model is being used. Head back to the main page of the AI section. You can also create a new chat by hitting the plus at the bottom, or enter an old chat simply by selecting it.